Hey, what's up guys? Shoko King here, bringing you my Week 5 Team Builder and Battle for UDL. We are taking off against Jake this week. This is going to be ORS, as you can see in the corner there. My team has not changed. We basically had one area to change our teams for ORS and Sun and Moon, so I did not make any changes. I thought this team was fine. Jake's a pretty good battler, so it should be a great game. I am at 1-3, so hopefully we can get this win. Ideally, we go 5-3 to make playoffs. There might be a chance 4-4 can make playoffs, but that's going to be pretty tough. Though our differential isn't the worst. So there's definitely a chance, even if we lose this game, we can make playoffs, but it would be tough. We basically want to win our last 4 games, which will be tough, but not impossible. So if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you guys like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate everyone's support. Because this is a Showdown Generation 6 and 7 content, so definitely not in the most popular limelight here. So really appreciate everyone that's watching these. So I've been having a fun time with this. It's definitely a different mindset to get into these very competitive builds and such. I feel like with Wi-Fi, I don't get into the weeds as much. Maybe I should, but I feel like I get more into the weeds, especially for Generation 6 and 7. The metagames are definitely pretty cool to have these the changes in the teams here. And it's also neat to have this power level. Well, I don't think the teams are like inherently stupidly broken either, and just all really powerful stuff. It's a really nice balance this league's had. But anyway, against Jake, yeah, he has Mega Mawile and Nidoking, which are very, very tough for me to switch into. Physical Breaker, Special Breaker. They both have different moves to hit me with that are super hard, so it's not like I can resist berries pretty easily in this game. Tornadus is pretty fast. I mean, not Deoxys fast, but still fast. Hydreigon is a really nice breaker. Not as good as Nidoking is, especially because I have Clefable, which is maybe the best answer to Hydreigon, so that's nice to have. Blastoise. It's a pretty okay answer to Mega Blastoise because I don't have like Grass Knot or anything to hit Blastoise super hard with outside of like Hidden Power Electric or Grass would probably be the hardest hitting move, or it'd probably be like Aura Sphere or Dark Pulse or something with Mega Launcher boosted, but nothing or super effective to hit it with. Qualadin he picked with his round 5 pick because it was 1 point, and it's a pretty good ground resist answer, and I do have a Garchomp, so he could bring Qualadin for spikes. Reuniclus is really, really good in this game to spread Thunder Waves. I do have an Absol that is a Dark type, but I don't know if he's going to respect it. Metagross also takes not much from Psychic, but if he's like Iron Defense or like max physically defensive, I don't have ways to really boost my attack that easily outside of Hone Claws, which usually isn't that reliable, or Meteor Mash attack boost, so that's kind of tough. Rotom Frost could come physically defensive to handle my Hawlucha, and then Munchlax is there. And we saw Snorlax was an issue from TJ before, so Munchlax could be brought, but I kind of doubt it. So, looking more specifically in the threats, Mega Mawile, Play Rough, Iron Head knockoff, that like kills everything on my team, basically. You could run Sucker Punch as well. Maybe Swords Dance over knockoff. I think you want Sucker Punch, and I think you want Play Rough Iron Head on this team. It also has Intimidate, so Garchomp can't kill with Earthquake. Hawlucha cannot sweep with High Jump Kick if I get a Swords Dance boost. It doesn't hit Metagross at least, and Metagross could be Colbur Berry to take on Mawile, fine. But I don't know if Metagross is going to kill in one hit to Mawile either, and then you could Sucker Punch after you get rid of the Colbur Berry initially. I think Mawile doesn't have to be super attack invested. I obviously do have to take into account that it could be max attack, but it could also be pretty specially defensive to take Mega Blastoise hits and Deoxys hits as well. So Mawile, great. Nidoking is also a huge threat. And again, as I said before, it's hard to put a resist berry. For like Mega Mawile, I could be Colbur Berry on Metagross to take on Mega Mawile, but then I don't have Shucker Berry to take on a Nidoking. So definitely tough there. And Nidoking does outspeed my Metagross and my Blastoise. That's tough there. Can be modest based on the speed tiers, unless if you're really worried about me being timid Mega Blastoise, then I would add speed to Nidoking, but I don't think you really care too much about that. Nidoking outspeeds a jolly Metagross, so I think Nidoking is fine in that role. Ice, Poison, Ground just hit my team. You could be Sucker Punch down last, but it could be Toxic Spikes, which is also annoying. I do have Vileplume, but I don't think that's that great of a bring this game. In theory, it could be okay against Mega Mawile with Sleep Powder, Hidden Power Fire, or something like that, but Iron Head still does a lot. You could get a Effect Spore. You could also just easily run Ice Punch on a Mawile and nuke the Vileplume, so not great. Mega Blastoise Rapid Spin, so that's probably the way I remove T-Spikes from Nidoking, but that means I am getting poison on my on my Blastoise, so not the greatest, but it's alright. Could also be a substitute on Nidoking, because it only really needs ground, poison, and ice to hit everything super effectively. I guess outside of Absol, but I don't think you're worried about that. You do plenty of damage anyway. It could be substitute in the last slot. Reuniclus, my Darkest and Absol, so it's pretty free to spam Thunder Wave into my team. It could be set up with like Shadow Ball Psychic and Calm Mind, but I think spamming Thunder Wave and knockoffs and just being physically a defensive wall for Garchomp is fine. And just slow everything down in my team so that way Nidoking and mawile can sweep. I think Reuniclus could be offensive Trick Room. I think that'd be an interesting bring, especially like worst case Reuniclus, Trick Room dies and then mawile outspeeds everything on my team. So that wouldn't be great, but Reuniclus is pretty good in this game. Tornadus can afford to be AV to take on Deoxys speed if you're worried about an offensive set there. And it also like is okay against Mega Blastoise if it has a Grass Knot. But I think Knockoff, U-Turn, Hurricane, Heat Wave to hit the Metagross, like this is a standard set, but that could be fine. If I have a Swords Dance boost, a Hawlucha, Acrobatic should kill even if he's physically defensive. Tornadus T after Rocks, so I don't think it can be anything for like physically defensive. I think you're going to be a Solvest or just offensive Tornadus. Icy Wind is annoying option for Garchomp since you would lower my speed and the Hydreigon would add speed and kill my Garchomp there, so not great. Blastoise, I think it's going to come. It's an okay check to Mega Blastoise, and it also checks the Hawlucha. Because I get a Swords Dance boost with Hawlucha, it does very well outside of Mawile, which will take a hit after an Intimidate, so like +1 high jump kick won't kill Mega Mawile if it's at like full or near full. But Blastoise can also take a hit fine, can Roar or Haze any setup sweeps, can Toxic, Ice Beam, Rapid Spin if I want to try to win with spikes from Deoxys, so Blastoise is pretty good here. I think Hydreigon probably going to be the 6th, though if it is Scarf Hydreigon, I can definitely EV my Deoxys to outspeed Scarf Hydreigon, so that's definitely nice. It has Flash Cannon to break the Fable. It could be another special breaker, though I think Scarf is not bad to outspeed Garchomp, unless if I'm Scarf Garchomp and Garchomp with, I guess you probably want to lock into Earthquake a lot, then Torn takes a hit fine. If you lock into a Dragon move, then Mega Mawile takes a hit fine, and Reuniclus basically takes anything that's not Swords Dance Garchomp okay anyway, so I don't think you bring Scarf Garchomp in this game. Obviously, you see I don't have it here. So I think Scarf Hydreigon is pretty good. It's a pretty good answer to Metagross, unless I am Colbur Berry, but it could flinch with Hydreigon Dark Pulse on Metagross, so I think that's fine. I did show I brought Hammer Arm in the past, so that would nuke the Hydreigon, though. Quilladin could come as an answer to Garchomp and get spikes up, can be physically or especially defensive. I think that's fine. I don't expect Rotom Frost to come. It could be Choppleberry Protect for high jump kick and bait it and make myself do 50% damage or something like that. Munchlax, again, Snorlax came before, but Munchlax is a lot less physically defensive, so I think it's going to be tough. You need to get like a Curse or 2 up for it to be bulky, and it just seems like it's going to be a hard opportunity to do against my team. So what I brought here, as you can see, Garchomp from the beginning, Swords Dance to break the team, and like outspeed and max speed Hydreigon with the set, but outside of that, his team is very slow. So outside of Scarfers and the Tornadus T, I'll outspeed everything with this Garchomp set, which is very, very nice. I have Bulk to let me live a Adamant, Swords Dance, Mawile Sucker Punch after Stealth Rocks, which that still seems like a lot of investment to take a +2 Sucker Punch from a non-stab hit, but Mega Mawile is just crazy strong. And then the attack will let me kill bulky Tornadus with Dragon Claw after a Swords Dance boost. It also took Quilladin with a Poison Jab after Rocks, which I'll have Rocks later on the build. Definitely the most threatening mon to the team. Again, Scarf Hydreigon can outspeed it. Tornadus could be Icy Wind to slow me down, so that way maybe even Nidoking outspeeds, depending on how much speed he has. Probably enough speed to outspeed this much speed. But not necessarily. It depends. You could be very bulky Nidoking. So, yeah, Garchomp looks very good here. We have Mega Blastoise, probably the next most threatening offensive mon, and I'm going to almost always lead with this to get damage off early. It has enough special attack to kill max HP Nidoking with a Scald, and outspeed Mega Mawile that's max speed Adamant. You could be Jolly, but I'm not really threatened by a kill on anything, and then Scald could burn the Mawile, and like I'm fine anyway. And that little bit of speed, like the EVs didn't matter too much. I 2 KO Special Defensive Quilladin with Ice Beam. I 2 KO Reuniclus with a Calm Mind boost. with Dark Pulse, which is kind of crazy. It could Calm Mind up again, but then you're risking 2 chances to get Dark Pulse flinched. So I might come out on the end there, I might not, but I have other answers for Uniclus. That's a Calm Mind set anyway. Last move, Rapid Spin. I think it's the best option in case if it is Spikes Quilladin or if it's T-Spikes Nidoking, because I do not bring Wild Puma in this game. So Toxic Spikes are definitely annoying for Garchomp to try to sweep. Though Substitute was an option I had for a while on this build to maybe avoid like a Toxic from the Blastoise, but or like a Thunder Wave from Uniclus, but I think this is overall fine. Or like even a sub on a Quilladin as it sets up a Spike, and then I kill an Ice Beam, and then like Blastoise behind a sub would be pretty threatening, but Toxic Spikes are also pretty threatening to my team, so that's fine there. Clefable, it's very, very good into every mon on the team except for Mawile and Nidoking, which are the 2 most threatening mons in this team. So this is it was tough for me to even bring Clefable on this build, but I did fit it on here. It does like okay damage with flamethrowers. You see here I have very, very weird EVs, but I basically always want to take special hits. Really the only physically offensive threatening mon is Mega Mawile. So it's not like I'm taking an Iron Head. Maybe if I'm max HP, max defensive, it definitely Babiri would take a hit, but if I'm slower and I get flinched, then well, I lose that anyway. So that's not going to help too much. But I have special attack to deal decent damage to Mawile to put in range of some hits in the future. And maybe like a high jump kick from a Holucha or Earthquake from Garchomp or hits from other Pokemon that you'll see later on in the build. A special defense, if I get a Light Scream up, I'll take a Sludge Wave from Nidoking, max special attack modest, and then I can go for a Stealth Rock in the future. Or if you go for Substitute, then Flamethrower will break a max HP Substitute from Nidoking. So definitely nice there. And then speed, this will add speed. Again, Adamant, Max Speed, Mega Mawile, plus a little bit extra. I think this is faster than the Mega Blastoise, so if Mawile wants to be jolly and like speed creep stuff that's speed creeping Adamant Mawile, then like I speed creep that even a little bit more. So just a little bit of mind games there. It doesn't really matter too much with the speed there, but Clefable, ideally I get a light screen up to let other Pokemon set up like the Garchomp, especially because I'm more physically defensive on it. Then I can also take a bunch of special hits as well, and other Pokemon on my team, maybe like the Holucha, that I'll have in a bit. Yeah, but ideally that sets up a light screen, gets up rocks, and probably dies. I have Holucha next. Now, I think this Pokemon has a lot of opportunities to get a weakness policy boost thanks to all the special attackers on the team, like Tornadus T, Hurricane, even I'll take a hit definitely after a light screen. Hydreigon, probably not anything super effective. Blastoise with Ice Beam, Nidoking with Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, Uniclus with Psychic or Psyshock, Rotom Frost. All those Pokemon I'll live a hit, definitely under light screen, but sometimes even without a light screen I can live a hit because I have decent amount of special attack. And then if I get a Swords Dance boost, then I'll be a +4 attack with high jump kick and acrobatics, dealing very good damage to the rest of the team. I have the special defense. This will give you the best chance to live 2 Psychics from Uniclus. Psyshock could also be a bring, but it is weaker, so I think this is the best chance for me to take hits from the Uniclus. And this is two Psychics from Uniclus after a light screen. If it's just regular Psychic for Uniclus, it could kill me, but it's a very, very low chance that this Psychic would kill. And then max attack, I wanted to deal as much damage as possible to the Mega Mawile. If it's a little bit weakened, then a Swords Dance +1 attack, basically, because if Mawile has Intimidate, then High Jump Kick might be able to kill. Really, really depends on how much bulk it has. If it's speedier, then I might be able to kill with a High Jump Kick at +1 attack. I have Taunt here to prevent Roar from Blastoise or Haze from Blastoise or a Thunder Wave from Uniclus. And then the speed allows me to outspeed Tornadus. That's max speed if I get the Unburden boost from an Icy Wind. So Icy Wind would lower my speed, but double my speed because I have Unburden now, and I proc my weakness policy. So I will add speed, max speed, Tornadoes under that circumstance with the speed. Next, I have Absol. So this was a mascot mon for a while. It might even be my... is it still? It still might be my YouTube logo. The Philadelphia Absols, which is based off the Philadelphia Soul defunct Arena Football League team. So I'm going for the critical chance here. Super Luck plus Scope Lens both increase my critical hit ratio by 1. So in Generation 6, if you have +2 critical hit ratio, that gives you a 50% chance to crit your hits. Now, You could say that Life Orb basically gives you a slightly better chance at more damage output because it's a crit is a 1.5. So you have like a 50% chance at 1.5 times damage, or you have consistent 1.3 times damage. So 1.3 damage is like more damage overall, but you're also dealing 10% of your health. So I think Scope Lens is fine here, and Night Slash also increases your critical hit ratio. So Night Slash actually has a 100% chance to a critical hit here. So that is very, very cool. But Sucker Punch will have a 50% chance to crit. Superpowers a 50% chance to crit. And the Swords Dance boost, I should be doing pretty decent damage, especially under a light screen with Absol. I mean, I'm going to die to a mawile play rough, obviously, but Superpower can do pretty decent damage. I have a chance to kill with +1 Superpower if I get a critical hit. So that's also why I went with Scope Lens over Life Orb, because Life Orb +1 Superpower would not kill a Mega Mawile. So yeah, I think this is pretty funny, and outside, like, I also don't do a ton of damage to Hydreigon. I guess Swords Dance Boost with Sucker Punch would deal a lot of damage to Hydreigon. I won't kill, but I really threaten to kill on everything else in the team with this set. And I guess if Reuniclus wanted to be cheeky and run Mono Psychic, it'd be tough to do that with Metagross anyway, because you always had the worry of getting an attack boost with Metagross's Meteor Mash. But if you're like Double Dance, like Iron Defense, or I would be Acid Armor, and then Night Slash goes through that. Last Pokemon I have here, obviously I'm going to bring Deoxys Speed. It outspeeds everything except for Choice Scarf Tornadus. It gets a big hit off. I'll outspeed Max Speed Hydreigon with this set, which is definitely nice. I wanted to lead with this set, but with Hydreigon and Mawile, it's kind of tough for me to lead with this. I have Dark Pulse to hit the Reuniclus at 2 KOs. Reuniclus with a +1 Calm Mind boost. Similar circumstance with Mega Blastoise. Psycho Boost, just a very hard-hitting hit, though I probably have to switch out after I use the hit. And then Hydreigon is also an issue with the set. Focus Blast would kill the Hydreigon. I was considering like Expert Belt Deoxys, but then Focus Blast wouldn't kill the Hydreigon, so that's why I went with Choice Specs. And then Spikes is here to, in case, I had Trick on here for a while, but I went with Spikes if the Spikes would make it average in getting a kill in the future, and it might let me set up a better opportunity for Hawlucha or Garchomp the Sweet Leap game. So that's my team. Definitely want this win to get in the playoff. Jake's got a good opponent, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, let's get right into the game. All right, here we are for the game against Jake. So he brings the 6 most threatening Mon, so nothing too surprising here. I think I'm fine to just lead with Blastoise and just get a bunch of damage off as soon as possible. So we'll get right into the game. I'm going to lead with the Mega Blastoise, and he's going to lead with the Mawile. So definitely nice that I did not lead with my my Deoxys, since that would have put me in a pretty weird spot. He could knock off, he could Sucker Punch, he could Iron Head, he could do a lot of things against the Deoxys, and I can't really kill in return. I could get damage off, which is nice since Mawile and Nidoking are the 2 most threatening mons of this team, but not ideal. I should live any one hit from Mawile for sure. I don't even think Thunder Punch would kill me. And Scald would do a lot of damage back and maybe get a burn. So we're going to just go for that. It looks pretty free into his team outside the Blastoise, which does come in. I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for Scald, hopefully get a burn. I do not get it, and I see that I do 15% to Blastoise. So this shows that he's like basically max special defensive. So this is a better opportunity for Hawlucha to sweep a late game with a Swords Dance boost. So definitely nice. I can go for Dark Pulses here to then try to get flinches. If I could just kill the Blastoise here, then I'm in great position. So I'm doing about a third, a little bit less than I wanted to. I also thought he's not leftover, so not really sure what the item is here. So I go for Dark Pulse, do not get a flinch and he gets a Toxic on me. So a little bit unfortunate. Now here I could go for a flinch, and if I get the flinch on the Blastoise, then I basically have the Blastoise dead, which is definitely good here. But with the Blastoise being this low anyway, I'm fine with the Blastoise staying alive. I mean, the worst thing is getting a Scald burn on my 3 Swords Dance mons, but I feel like this is an opportunity to get a Light Screen on with the Clefable, because Light Screen looks pretty good in everything except for the Mega Mawile in this build. We see that Blastoise goes for a rest, so now he's at full health, so not the greatest, but Hawlucha, if I get a Swords Dance boost, I should be able to take on the Blastoise, because he's not physically defensive, and he's not Rocky Helmet or anything like that, so I'm definitely cool with this scenario. Ideally, the Blastoise is not 100% health, but I am like Clefable in for free, and I can get a Light Screen up here. I don't want to go for Rocks because he could Rapid Spin him away. We know he's Rest, Toxic, probably Rapid Spin, and then maybe Ice Beam in the last slot. We're not entirely sure yet, but I got a light screen up. And I know the Nidoking can't kill me unless if he's Poison Jab, which is good information to have if he's Poison Jab, but I'm going to go right for the rocks here to weaken the Tornadus and such, and he goes for his own rocks. So we exchange rocks here. He's probably Dual Stab plus Ice Beam as the last move. He could be physical, but I imagine you probably want to be special because Earthquake doesn't get the Sheer Force boost, so you're taking 10% damage, and it's, I guess, a little bit weaker. So I'm going to switch out into Blastoise, knowing I should take a hit, like, generally fine if you're going to go for Sludge Wave. And it does 27%, so that's still a lot of damage, but, like, I take the hit fine. Scald looks pretty free, but, I mean, a Blastoise could come in. Dark Pulse I could go for and deal a lot of damage onto the Nidoking, but I don't think you let the Nidoking take damage anyway. So I'm going to go for Rapid Spin, and hopefully rocks are not here for the rest of the game. I don't think Nidoking should get an opportunity to rock up later, maybe against my Clefable, because I want to keep the Clefable alive. Like, I think I have an opportunity to set up multiple light screens, which was something I didn't expect the Clefable to do. I expected Blastoise may basically die early, get Clefable to get a light screen, and then end rocks, and then just go in with my physical attackers. But I think I could stall this out a little bit later until basically we trade my Blastoise for his Mega Blastoise, or we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go for Dark Pulse, trying to get a flinch, and I do get the flinch. Again, maybe I should have gone for the flinch before. It would have brought my Blastoise lower with toxic damage, but that might have been worth it, and I might have been able to keep up rocks throughout the game. But Blastoise is very weakened. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse just to get a bunch of damage onto the Blastoise. We'll see what he goes for. He goes for Rapid Spin. So, unfortunately, he gets rid of the rocks I set up. I basically have a dead Pokemon. His Blastoise is pretty weakened, though, and I do have Light Screen up for at least a little bit, so I think that's fine. I bring in Clefable because he's basically, we know he's max HP, max special defensive, so I should add speed with my Clefable, and I should be able to kill in a Moonblast from this range. So I'm going to go for the hit because I do have special attack investment. So maybe if he was expecting me not have special attack investment, that he would like live and get a rest off maybe. I don't really know what the Blastoise would have done there, because if he goes for rest, then like it gives it my other Pokemon opportunities to set up. So maybe just goes for Scald and gets damage off for Rapid Spin to make sure I don't get rocks up. But I do add speed and kill, and I have Clefable's full health under a light screen. So if the Mawile comes out here, I'm going to go for Flamethrower and just get damage on it. But other than that, I think I can go for Moonblast and get something decent off on whatever comes out, which is a Tornadus. And Tornadus could definitely be Taunt here, but I figured the opportunity to get up rocks was definitely worth it. And then if he's not Taunt, then I can get a light screen up the following turn. But we see he's Taunt, so can't get rocks up. Unfortunate. I guess I could have switched into something else, like U-turn, knockoff. It's not great. And I don't know what he's going to go for on this following turn. But I figured I still want Clefable to get a light screen up later on. So I figured the least useful member is probably the Deoxys because of the Mawile plus the Hydreigon there, which obviously they were like pretty typical brings to have in this game. But Deoxys is still good to get a big hit off. So I'm going to go right into the Deoxys on this next turn. Unfortunately, the light screen's off, so if he goes for a special move, then it's going to deal a lot of damage. And he goes for a Hurricane and does a lot of damage, 80%. So that shows that he is max special attack. So interesting to note. One, he's Taunt. That means he's not Assault Vest. And then he's max special attack. So probably not a lot of bulk, and probably speed to outspeed a Hawlucha before the Unburdened. So I'm going to go for a Psycho Boost. I don't think he expects me to kill, because Psycho Boost definitely wouldn't kill. But I am Choice Spec, so I do have a chance to kill, and I do kill this Tornado. So that is really, really nice for me. Obviously, he could have gone to Hydreigon. I probably would have been forced to go on... I probably would have sacked off the Deoxys if he did go in Hydreigon on that play, because Flash Cannon's pretty easy move to click there, because it'll hit the Clefable, and it'll hit everything else in the team for, like, not resisted damage, so it'll deal okay damage. But regardless, the Torn is down. That is great. The Hydreigon comes out. So I just go for the Psycho Boost here on the Hydreigon. I figured he's going to kill me off, but that's fine. I am faster. I would 100% be faster than Hydreigon, which is fine. And he goes for Flash Cannon. That makes a lot of sense. That will pick off anything on my team, basically. But now I have an opportunity for Clefable to come in and go for the light screen. If the Mawile comes out here, then fine. I'll be able to get a light screen and deal Flamethrower, which should be enough to where Garchomp can kill an Earthquake in the future, unless I'm at a -1 attack. But that's hopefully not going to be the case. So we'll get a light screen up. Nidoking, I don't think is going to kill me when I need Moon move. He could go for rocks here. But I am going to switch out of my Garchomp because I don't think you're going to go for an Ice Beam here. And even if you do have Yachi Berry, so I take the hit, that's fine. And I feel like this is an opportunity for me to set up Swords Dances. So Nidoking comes out, goes for Sludge Wave, and does nothing. It shows that he's modest Nidoking based on that damage, so kind of what I expected and good information to know. So I'm going to go right for an Earthquake. If I could kill the Nidoking, that is great. I don't think he lets me do it, but he brings in Reuniclus, which takes a hit fine, but it probably shows that he's max physically defensive. So I'm going to go for a Swords Dance and try to kill this Reuniclus. And he goes for a Recover there. That's fine. I guess he's just stalling out Light Screen turns as much as possible. I'm going to go for an Earthquake, deal a lot of damage, and I do 65. Again, that shows he's max physically defensive. He's going to go for a Psychic to deal a little bit of damage to me. And because I know Dragon Claw will kill a Reuniclus on this following turn, I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw and pick up the kill. He could be Rocky Helmet, where I'm taking a little bit more chip, and maybe be in range of Sucker Punch from the mawile, but instead I go for the Dragon Claw. He brings in the Hydreigon, and I kill with the Dragon Pulse, which is crazy. I feel like that had to be Scarf Hydreigon, so I don't know why you would make that risky of a play. Now, if it's not Scarf Hydreigon, then it's really not that risky of a play. I guess he could have gone in the mawile on that turn too, but +1 Earthquake probably kills the mawile, so I wasn't too threatened by that. I guess he could have gone mawile predicting a Dragon Claw, but that'd be a lot of really, really crazy plays there, which I guess he could make, but that was an interesting read. I get the kill there, and it also makes me have 2 turns of Light Screen, which is definitely nice. It's going to be hard for the Reuniclus to kill me, so I have a +1 attack Garchomp. I should kill anything on the team. He sacks off the least useful member, which is the Reuniclus, which is definitely fine. So now I'm up 4-2. I'm looking like I'm in pretty good shape to win this game. The Mawile comes in and intimidates me. I might be able to kill with an Earthquake, but if he's max HP, I probably don't kill. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake and just deal as much damage as possible, because I think even if my Garchomp dies, that my last 3 Pokemon can take on the Nidoking. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake. He does not live. This shows, based on that damage, that he's probably max HP. I don't think he's physically defensive or anything, and I probably got a high roll if he's max HP. But he's going to go for an Ice Punch, even 3 Hachi Berry. That's going to kill my Garchomp. And Rocky Helmet, or Rough Skin's going to kill the Mawile. So it is 1-on-3. My Absol and Hawlucha both have a 50-50 shot to live their hit from Nidoking. So if I get a Night Slash off with Absol, I 100% win the game with Hawlucha, because I just go for a Acrobatics, and then I get the kill. I also have a 50-50 shot to live with Hawlucha's Ice Beam, which would also let me win the game, because I would get a Swords Dance boost, and then +4 Acrobatics would kill the Nidoking, unless he had Sucker Punch. But I don't think he's going to be Ice Beam, Rock, Sucker Punch, and then he'd have Earth Power or Sludge Wave, and we saw Sludge Wave earlier, so he probably has Earth Power to hit the Metagross. I don't think he's only going to have Sucker Punch. So I bring in the Absol here, and I die to the Sludge Wave. Unfortunate, it was a 50-50 roll. From max special attack modest Nidoking. That's okay. We still have the Hawlucha here to go for a Swords Dance. So if he procs a weakness policy, then with my special defense investment, Ice Beam has a 50-50 chance to kill. If he doesn't kill, then it procs my Acrobatics. I'll be a +4, and I'll be able to kill this Nidoking. So as we see here, he does kill with Ice Beam, and then my Clefable can't do anything, and I'm going to lose the games here. So there's a few thoughts I could have had on this endgame to definitely play it better. And probably the main thing was, on the calc, I actually didn't change Nidoking to modest. I thought it was modest, and I thought I made the change in the calc, but maybe I switched out Nidoking for mawile and then brought back in Nidoking on the calc and such like that. So there was actually a 100% chance that Nidoking was going to kill both my Absol and the Hawlucha on those last turns. So if I knew that with the Garchomp, and I did have that information on there. Again, I was playing it off that it was that I thought I had the calc as modest, but it was actually timid. Timid gave me the 50-50 chance rolls to live, but I knew it was modest earlier, and I thought I made those changes in the calc. So those were unfortunate, and I think I was still fine to make those plays. No, if I knew, like if I thought that the timid calcs were the modest calcs, I don't feel too bad about this end game, but putting the damage in the calc wrong was definitely unfortunate, but there was also other plays I could have made. And I think a couple turns going back was going for this Earthquake here with the Garchomp. Now, Garchomp is the only Pokemon that 100% kills the Nidoking. Like, there's no way Nidoking lives an Earthquake from Garchomp, and I outspeed, so there's no issue there. So So that's fine. But even on this play, like, so basically I should have found out a way to get basically my last 3 Pokemon to deal enough damage to Mawile so that way Earthquake would kill the Mawile. But the problem there is Mawile could set up a Swords Dance at some point, and then Swords Dance from Mawile, Sucker Punch would kill my Garchomp. So that's also assuming the Mawile has Sucker Punch, which it probably does. I don't know what moves it would have. Maybe Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Play Rough, Iron Head seem pretty decent. It doesn't hit the Metagross, but Sucker Punch would do a lot to it, and eventually I'll have to attack with the Metagross into Mawile. So I think that's a fine set. Not sure what the set is. Obviously, we saw Ice Punch, so you know that's one of the moves on this set. I don't know if you would maybe replace that with Iron Head. I suppose could be an option since Play Rough is going to do so much to Clefable anyway. And Ice Punch would hit the Vileplume, so that makes sense. But even if he's max HP and I get a lower roll with Earthquake, so say I do like 80%, I think the calc was 77 to 92%. So I basically got max roll. If there is a hit to where I didn't kill with an Earthquake and Mawile killed me with an Ice Punch, but didn't die to the Rough Skin damage, which is 12%. So I actually I think Rough Skin's only 12%. So actually, there was, even making this play, I had a better chance to win this game if he was max HP, because if I got a roll that was in the 78 to 87% range, as opposed to the 88 to 92% range, which I got, which is a lower chance, then he would have lived the hit after Rough Skin, which would have been better for me, because Clefable would have came in, gone for a light screen, and then from there, I think my Absol plus Hawlucha might be able to do it. It actually would be able to do it, yeah, because Absol would come in and Sucker Punch the Mawile or get enough damage onto it, and then Nidoking can't kill my Hawlucha. I get a Swords Dance boost, and I win with Ice Beam there. So that was probably the play there. And most of the time that would have happened, but I got a high roll with the Garchomp, which is actually what I didn't want. But even that, I could have also just not Earthquaked here with the Garchomp, and I could have switched out into, say, Clefable. Now, I didn't know that the Mawile was going to go for an Ice Punch. Ice Punch would not have killed the Clefable. Play Rough was an option, and Play Rough was like a 25% chance to kill me with with the hit, and I would have outsped because I am pretty sure it's not max HP, max speed, Jolly Mawile, so I would have outsped, now, if I switch out, I still have to figure out how to get some damage onto the Mawile, which could have just been go for a Flamethrower on the Mawile, which is probably the play I would have gone for if Clefable lived the hit. If Mawile goes for a Swords Dance, then I can go for a Light Screen, I suppose. Make sure Garchomp's back in the future, and as long as I got that Flamethrower off on the Mawile, then Hawlucha plus Absol would deal enough damage to Mawile. Like, I wouldn't die to +2 Sucker Punches from either. And Superpower plus High Jump Kick, as long as High Jump Kick hits, would have killed Mawile with the Flamethrower damage for Clefable. And then Garchomp would have 1v1 the Nidoking. So that was an option there. Even if I switch out with Garchomp into Clefable, and Mawile kills me with, say, Play Rough, or kills me with an Iron Head as I switch out the Garchomp, then I would have had to have relied on Hawlucha to basically land 2 High Jump Kicks, because I'm doing like 50 to 60% with High Jump Kick at neutral attack. So even if Mawile sets up, like, if I miss with Hawlucha, then I'm also in a pretty bad spot. If he gets like a Swords Dance and Sucker Punch, or Swords Dance and Play Roughs my Hawlucha. So basically, if Clefable switched out, I had a chance to live. Even if it died, Hawlucha goes for 2 High Jump Kicks. I guess Nidoking could have switched into the Hawlucha on the High Jump Kick, but then it's also getting weakened, probably into range where Absol would have killed with Sucker Punch. Again, at that point, the Mawile could have switched back then, and then it could have been issues and such. But I think if I had if I had the Absol Sucker Punch, I think I win that end game as well. Not 100%. Again, if Hawlucha misses High Jump Kicks, then I also lose that end game. But I probably should have gone in the Clefable there. Maybe I live the hit, get a Light Screen up, and then Nidoking wouldn't kill my Hawlucha and win the game. Or even if the Clefable died, Hawlucha comes in and goes for Play Roughs, or on High Jump Kicks on a Mawile to deal enough damage to where like a Swords Dance boost and Mawile like wouldn't be able to kill the Hawlucha plus the Absol. Or if you don't even go for a Swords Dance with the Mawile, then Garchomp comes in on a Mawile and clicks Earthquake twice and wins the game. So it wouldn't die to a Sucker Punch unless I got crit. So all that's really unfortunate. Again, even with the plays I made, it was in my favor to win that game because I got unfortunate getting the high roll that I got with the garchomp on the mawile. So I call that game unlucky for sure. I also could call it a choke, but like even with the plays I made, I was in a position like in my favor to win this game. So definitely unfortunate, and it puts me at 1-4. It's not impossible for me to make playoffs, but it's going to be tough. I definitely have to win these last 3 games. There's no way I make playoffs at 3-5, and 4-4 is going to be tough. But my differential is at least pretty low. So if I win the last 3 games, I think my differential would put me in the playoffs, as long as no other team, as long as 4 teams don't get 5-3 or better. So it's possible, but it'll be tough. But yeah. Again, if you guys are enjoying this content and the in-depth analysis I'm going through, and hopefully you guys are learning a bunch from this, let me know in the comments below what you think of this series so far. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, later, guys.